Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to see you. Happy Monday. My name is Gigi Fuskamis. I'm the Director of Community and Donor Relations for 3D Theatricals. And on behalf of my entire team at 3DT, I want to welcome you to this session of 3D and You. How exciting is this? This is the first. This is a first. We have not had any session like this in the history of our 3DU. I'm excited to introduce you all to David T. Morris, who is going to teach us how to make some incredible cheesecake. Isn't that right, David?
Yes, yes. Are you
Great.
ready?
I'm ready. We're ready. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what we'll be doing today, what we're going to watch you do, and then we'll do later at home.
A little bit about me. I guess I'll start off by saying that I'm a very grateful person, and I'm so grateful, and thank you to 3D and you, Gigi, and TJ, and everyone at 3D, first of all, for my experience of getting to know you better was doing the show Once on this Island, and it was a life-changing experience being able to work with some really great artists in California. So having said that, obviously I work in the theater. I sing, dance, and act, and between working at Disney for 20 years, as well as working in Las Vegas, working on cruise ships, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity Cruise Lines, Holland America, sending out love to all those people who are basically working in those communities who aren't working right now. And which brings me to one of the reasons why I decided to do something like this. When TJ reached out to me and asked me if I would teach a class, I thought that one of the things that I love doing most is cooking and baking, and I'm 6 of 8 kids, so I'm no stranger to being in the kitchen and watching and learning and making sure I use the things that I have there in the kitchen. So hey, and since we've all been, I'm just gonna not beat around the bush because there's no reason to. Us being in quarantine and dealing with all the things that we're dealing with, one of the things that has gotten me through so much as far as being happy and spreading love and sending pictures online and making sure you create some happiness has been making food, baking cakes, and posting them. So why not? So this is an easy version of one of the mini cheesecakes that I've happened to make. So a little bit about me. That's actually a lot, right? Condense is good, right? So how's everyone doing? Everyone doing good? Everyone have your information? No, I actually put a YouTube video out there which hopefully was helpful in getting you a little bit excited about some of the things that you need for this. I guess we'll introduce some of those things for you. Is that okay to do that? Some of the things you need. Actually, let's start by, no, we'll introduce the things and then we'll turn on the oven because it's hot in the kitchen, which is why we have to wear as loose and holy clothes as possible because it's hot in New York. By the way, I'm in New York City, and it's hot, blazing here in my apartment, but we like to keep cool. Spring pan. This is a spring pan. This is actually a new gadget for me. I got this at the beginning, right before quarantine, and I was actually afraid to make my own crust in these because I just thought that I was going to be a major fail. But these are great for making a really beautiful cheesecake from scratch. So if you don't have one, it's totally okay. You can get the ready-made crust from like Keebler brand. They have chocolate and they have shortbread, graham cracker, different crust that's already made, which means that you skip the crust making portion. But we're going to do the whole thing. So we've got our spring pan. It's something that you're going to need. I cheated and I found graham cracker crumbs. So if you don't have graham cracker crumbs, send a message in the group so that way we make sure that we have time for you to take your Russians out on crushing your graham crackers and making sure you have enough for that. We've got our things out. Our dairy products, we want to make sure that the dairy products, we've got our cream cheese, Philadelphia, I've already prepped these things inside here, but you want to make sure that these things are room temperature. If they're not room temperature, and you can still make a cheesecake and you'll get a really good cheesecake if your products aren't room temperature that are supposed to be room temperature. But you will get a better flavor and a creamier texture if it is, and as far as like mixing it together. So let's get going here. Yes. Let's turn on our oven. We're going to turn our oven on to 350 degrees. So let me get that done. 350. Okay. Turn the light on. We don't need it yet, but like I said before, you want to get this ready. This is going to be for your water bath. So just make sure you have that handy so that you have something that's going to fit inside there. That's your big pan. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm actually filling my tea kettle with water because at some point I want to make sure that for my water bath, I have hot water. So you do need to make sure this is something that you prep. You don't have to turn this on yet, but either a pot or a tea kettle if you have it, we're going to need hot water for a water bath. So go ahead and get that ready also, okay? Doing some prepping action in here. We'll move this out of the way, make some room for ourselves. We're gonna make our crust first. We've got our crust that's already ready. I've got that made in here. Those are just our crumbs. How's everyone doing out there so far? Ready to wait for people? Can we just keep on going?
Yes, you just keep on going. In fact, as you mention things, I'm putting it in the chat what you're doing.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to keep on getting things ready. If you've got your, I wish I had them actually because I think it'd be really fun. It's actually, when I first made the crackers and I had it in the bag, it's kind of like, I don't know, like, does anyone else feel like it's like a release of anxiety when you crush chips? I know, especially right now. So if you've got some anxiety right now and you really need to like hurt things, I really think that you should just take those crackers.
Take it out on the graham crackers.
Make sure you're over your bowl or you're
right.
mixing your, as far as, you know, like as far as something so it's going to catch your crumbs. Go ahead and crush that up and make sure you get it as fine as possible. I'm going to show you because it's hard to get the camera there, but if you buy the ready-made ones, it comes out and it's really nice and grinded up for you already. Which is really nice. You know, you want to get it as fine as possible. If it's not, it's going to be hard to work with, but you get that done. Get a small pot. We're going to get a small pot. You get that ready for our butter because we're going to melt our butter and make sure that our butter is going to be, normally you don't heat butter and put anything. This is something that you can do. We do want to melt it down. We don't want it to boil. So go ahead and get your butter out. If you notice also in the butter, I would assume most people have baked here before, but if not, if you look on the butter, there actually is a section on there where it's like cut up. You can see the lines where the tablespoons are. So that actually helps. Also, there's something on there. It says 4 tablespoons equals 1/4 of a cup. 8 tablespoons is half a cup. So that makes it easier for you as far as if you need to cut it down and then put it in the pan, okay? So we're gonna do that.
David, do you use salted or unsalted butter?
I use salted butter. I use salted butter, and because I use salted butter, I can skip out on having to use extra salt that's going to be used in here. Or you can still use the half teaspoon of kosher salt. We have a lot. I love salt, but
Who doesn't?
Salt's not really the best for us, but we love salt. Actually, I sweat a lot, so I can have all the salt I want, right? Probably not the case, but I'm going to anyways. Let's keep things going. So I pre-measured my my sugar. This is my 1/3 cup of sugar. You've got your 1 3/4 cup of graham cracker crumbs, which is about 15 full crackers. You may have to crush more depending on the size of the crackers, but everyone with me on 1 3/4 cup of your graham cracker crumbs. You've got that in here. You're going to add 1/4 cup of sugar, okay? So we're going to put our sugar in there. Something just for me, just a little tip. I hate mess, so clean while you make food. If you have, rinse it out or put it in the dishwasher so that way you don't have to come back to the mess. So that's what I'm going to be doing now, okay? So sugar's in there. I'm actually going to take a whisk, and I'm just going to mix this a bit up inside for your. The ingredients are dry right now, but we're just mixing the dry ingredients all together so that way it's pretty even, so that way when we put the butter in, it's quickly going to mix together, okay? We've got our kosher salt. So that's 1 teaspoon, excuse me, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Nice. We love salt. It's good for you. Speaking of salt, if you don't have it in your cabinets, I highly recommend, especially for summer, because we lose a lot of salt and minerals, you should get into Himalayan pink sea salt. I like to keep that around. It's great for cooking. You can use that for baking. You can use it for your food. I've been told, and I've also experienced the fact that, especially being artistic people and people who sweat, actually getting pink Himalayan sea salt and actually putting it in water, you can actually drink it. It's a way of getting some really great minerals in your body. So just thought I would throw that in there because I like to make sure that I spread up in that area. We're going to melt our butter down, okay? This calls for, again, 1/3 cup of melted butter. So go ahead and get your butter ready. You're going to go over to, I'm going to go over to the stove, cut your butter. You're going to put it on a simmer. You don't want it to boil. You want it to melt, okay? It boils, it actually, yeah. If it starts to boil, you get butter splashing everywhere. You just want it to, so we can do that and then we'll chat a little bit, okay? So since we're waiting for that to happen, what I wanted to let you guys know, I didn't purposely do it, but I'm hoping that I'll have you hooked because obviously this is something you have to have patience for. The good thing with the cheesecake is, oh, the oven's ready, perfect. The good thing with making the cheesecake is you have to wait and you have to have patience and it's totally worth it. We are going to make the crust. The crust, after we get that ready and put it inside our pan, that's going to take about 10 minutes to cook inside the oven. We're then going to take the crust out of the oven, and while the crust is cooking is the time that we're going to be making the filling, the pie filling. So after we do the pie filling, we're going to have to get the pie filling and put the pie filling on top of the crust while making our water bath, and then it's going to take a good hour for your cheesecake to bake. You want to leave it alone. You want to leave it inside the water bath and not touch it. After the hour, we're going to turn off. Obviously, you get worried now. We're going to have to get back in touch with each other. So I am offering, if you look, follow me at Ballslicious, you'll be able to see when I take it out of the oven to make sure we do that together. If you want to do it together, as well as tomorrow morning, I'll post again because we're going to have to chill it. So we're going to have to leave it in the oven. We're going to have to take it out and let it cool completely. And then tomorrow morning, it'll be nice and chilled so that way we take it out. I'll take it out and be able to show you guys how I like to make sure that it's beautiful, as well as then decorated so that way tomorrow morning, if you decide to go and get some treats, you'll have like a better dice. So you're not eating this cheesecake until tomorrow. I'm sorry, but it's going to be worth it. I know.
Well, you know what? I'm like, boo. I'm going to be able to eat it through Zoom somehow, magically.
I know. I was actually thinking about making one and then having it made, and I was like,
I'll get everybody's address. You can mail us all a slice. Could you be so kind as to repeat your social media handle? I'll type it in the chat.
My social media handle is, wait for it, Ballslicious. Ballslicious. BALLZCIOUS. Ballslicious.
There you go. I'm glad you spelled it.
I know. Yeah, I started, this is when Instagram first came out, and I was obviously very young and very in a happy mood, and decided, oh, I'm going to name myself Ballslicious.
That's a happy name. That's a happy name, David.
All right.
Go ahead.
Ready to go on. So we've got our butter. Actually, let me get my mixer. So in a perfect world, I'm going to have, when Broadway comes back, I'm going to be in a Broadway show, and I'm going to have a bigger kitchen so I can have more gadgets and gizmos, because right now, as you can see, I'm working with a really small kitchen. And I'm also working in a really small room. But we're still doing it and having a good attitude about it. All right, so we got our mixer here. Anyway, the reason why I was saying that is because when I have a bigger kitchen, I can't wait to have a layout of all the most fun gadgets and gizmos so that I can make cakes much faster. But this gets the job done. We've got our mixer. We're going to plug that in. Perfect. Got our butter. Go ahead and take your butter and just pour it in nicely. Okay, I'm going to make this easy for myself. I'm going to wash this. All right, so because this is dusty, oh, did you see that? This just totally broke. Back together. All right, so because this could be dusty and we don't want to go nuts with it right away, I'm going to mix it a little bit with this whisk. Right. If you have a deep enough bowl, like I planned this out for myself, and I used a deep bowl for myself, so that way I don't have crumbs flying everywhere. So what I'm doing is I'm mixing this really well because I really want to have a really beautiful, it's worth it, especially because you know you're going to be waiting to eat the cheesecake. It tastes even better when it looks beautiful, and that's the crust also. So pushing down on the sides of the bowl to make sure you mix it as much as possible, the liquid with the butter, the butter that's melted down with the graham cracker is going to help. Awesome. I'm going to pop these off. So wash these babies. All right, those are getting ready. Now, that's nice. Let's see if we can look that down so you can see. That looks really good, right? Does yours look like that? Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. All right, so next step, we are going to take our pan. Magic. Got our pan here. All right. All right, so I'm gonna wait for you guys. If you have it inside your cabinets, I'm sorry that I didn't say this, that you needed it, but it is going to make things a lot easier for you. If you have cooking spray, coconut cooking spray, anything that you can use that's going to be a non-stick, I recommend getting that right now. If you don't have that, then you can take either butter, you can take coconut oil, whatever you have right now, go ahead and grab that, because we're going to make sure that we spray the bottom of this pan so that that way it's not going to stick, and that way we'll get a nice cake that we can give a slide in it, you know, and get a nice pretty piece. So, oh, that could have been bad. I had these pretty flowers and I almost knocked them down. Whew, that would have been really bad. That was a very generous spray that I gave that. It's probably not necessary, but I don't like things sticking to the pan. All right, putting that away. Beautiful. So next you're going to do is go ahead and dump that inside your pan. A wooden spoon. Beautiful. We're going to put that in the sink. Let some water run on that so that we can clean that up. All right, so got that, looks like that. Beautiful. We're going to shake it out. There we go. Shake it out so that it's even. Okay. See how it's even? Perfect. Now, what we're going to do is, let me get this. If you have a cup, I'm going to use a glass. I've got a glass like this, hold up the planner. That looks like a nice size instrument, okay? I'm going to use the bottom of the glass, and I'm just going to press down on the crust. So I'm just pressing it all together to get a nice even crust together. Now what you can't see that what I'm doing is, you know, when you go to, if you've been to the Cheesecake Factory or you've been to, you know, you get a nice, beautiful New York cheesecake, usually the crust, it doesn't come all the way up the side. It comes up like halfway up the side, and then you've got the rest of the cheesecake. So you are going to push a little bit so that it's in the center of the cake. I'll show you. You see the side on the end there? You see how it's heaping a little bit? So you're pushing down. Okay? So you try and get it as even as possible. I'm kind of a tough guy, so I can push down, you know, really hard, but don't go nuts. You know, it's all about the beauty. The beauty. Speaking of beauty, did you see my earrings? I just thought I would let you know about my earrings. I ordered them at the beginning in like March. When everything started, I was like up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I saw them on the internet, and they came like 3 months later. I forgot about them. They came like 3 days ago. And I was like, perfect. I'm gonna make cheesecake and wear blue lightning bolts on my ears. All right, that's beautiful. All right. If you can, also around on the sides, try and get that area and get that as, you're basically what you're wanting to do is make sure that the butter that you melted inside the crumbs, that you're kind of condensing it all together so that that way when it bakes, you get a nice firm crust. All right. So I'm getting the sides so that that way it looks even also. That looks pretty good. All right, let's look at that. So we've got our crust. Looks pretty good, right? All right, so we've got our crust ready. We are going to put that in the oven. We're going to bake that for 10 minutes, all right? 10 minutes. So your oven should be nice and hot right now. Just go over and do that. Set your alarm for 10 minutes. There's. So we've got that done. Are you ready to make, excuse me, cocktail? This is actually kombucha tea. I know. It is good. But the liquor's up there. Let's say yesterday was Sunday and I definitely went for it. So today is kombucha until after the cake, and then maybe we'll get back on Sunday. Ah! All right, did that. Let's get to making, let's make some more space for ourselves here. Get rid of the stuff and put it away. All righty. I mean, why is cheesecake so good? I don't, and there's such a difference. There's such a difference. I already remember being little and thinking, oh my God, cheesecake. And then when I understood the value of $1, and it was like, wow, why is cheesecake so expensive? And then I went to the store and I remember seeing like the Jell-O packets, and it was like, oh, you get like this cheesecake thing and you make like a Jell-O cake and you put it in the refrigerator and it chill it. And I remember tasting it and I was like, this is not what I was thinking. And then I did my research and realized, no, there is a complete difference of baking a cheesecake. It is completely different. It is so, so different. Back to it. So we've got, now, I don't know if you guys, I like to, whenever, I made a deal with myself. Whenever cream cheese is on sale, I buy it. And that means that I can make cheesecake, because cream cheese is freaking expensive. It's really expensive. I nailed it, and I got Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago for my birthday. They had like 2 packs on sale, and so I got those. So I got Philadelphia cream cheese. I had one left over, but then I got yesterday when I went to go get supplies for this cake, I got just the store brand, and the store brand was on sale. So save your money. You can still make something really ridiculously delicious to save your money, but the other ones, they're in here already. Go ahead and take those, if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and peel your cream cheese open. They're so easy for you. It's done. Open it on the side and just drop that baby inside here. It's fighting me. Go and drop it inside the bowl. So like I said earlier, this is something that you have to have patience for. I kind of learned the hard way that it's like, plan this. Make sure you take out those ingredients. It just makes it so much easier to mix it. So while you're doing this, if you didn't take out your cream cheese earlier and it's really thick, you can still make it like I said, but it is going to be like really thick while you're trying to mix it. Mine's going to be nice and smooth. Hopefully yours will be easy to mix also, because as you can see, if you look at it, you know, it's kind of sweating a little bit because it's been out. So it makes it easier to mix, okay? So we've got our cream cheese in there. We're gonna mix all these things slowly. It makes it easier for you. And also as far as the way that the cake is gonna bake. We've got our sugar, okay? We've got 1 cup of our sugar, and we're just gonna mix that together with the cream cheese. If you have not done it yet, you want to go ahead and grab your mixer. And wash them off. Wash these babies off. Okay? All right, put this guy back together. Oh yeah, that's gonna be nice and easy. So we're gonna mix this together, okay? Now before we turn that on, you're gonna do this on a medium speed, and what you're basically doing is you wanna just make sure you get an even texture of the cream cheese and the sugar, okay? So let's get mixing. Now while you're mixing this, what you wanna do is make sure, just like I was doing with the crust, you're gonna push down on the sides to make sure you get all the sugar and all the cheese to nicely, smoothly mix together. You do not want to over mix this filling. You're not whipping it. You don't want it to be like crazy. Beautiful. Woo! That looks so good. Let's get a plate. It's a really beautiful texture. All right. So we got that done. So
Looks
now
good. Looks really good.
Nice and smooth. If you want to, this would be a good time to taste it. A little taste. It's good. Sugar and cheese. Already it's good. Yum.
Good.
All right. So we've mixed in our sugar. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to do our sour cream and our vanilla extract. So I've got my sour cream already pre-measured. And I'm going to take a half cup of sour cream, again, room temperature, and we're mixing that into the concoction, okay? Taking this over to the sink. Okay, actually we're gonna, the vanilla. So sour cream and vanilla. Vanilla extract. All right, so let's have a conversation about vanilla extract. Where's my flowers back? Hiding within flowers. A lot of people use, you go into the store, people see this guy. You see the price. See that? It is okay if you use this. It's okay if you use this. Okay, but it does, you know, it does pay to actually pay a little bit more.
Right.
And you have, you know, it comes in a much smaller container. This is pure vanilla extract. Notice the size. So, you know, if you want to splurge on something, it's like there's something that I have noticed over the last couple of months of spending, you know, trying to figure out, you know, even with my budget, making sure that it's like, okay, if I am going to be at home and I'm going to make certain things to really take pride in making something really beautiful, this is something that makes a difference. Get yourself some pure vanilla extract, not imitation. We shouldn't be having imitation anything anyway, but life is life, and sometimes you eat ramen. I'm losing my things. I'm losing my mind. I know. Oh, it's back there. It's just the problem. You start hiding yourself when the counter is the same color as, you know, other things on the table. So you want to take your vanilla extract, and you're going to do 2 teaspoons of that. It gives it an absolutely incredible flavor. We're going to add those 2 teaspoons. There's some bakers that I've noticed that they prefer to get one. This one has a little brown texture to it. I don't care about the color of the cheesecake. It's going to taste amazing. They do have clear. If you're like, I don't want my cheesecake to be solid white, it's going to taste amazing regardless. Again, on a medium speed, let's go ahead and mix that together. Nicely mixed. I think we got about 10 seconds before. Perfect. Our crust is going to be done. All right, perfect. Crust is done. Edges. That looks good. Perfect. So if yours does not look like it's a little bit golden brown or a little bit toasty, leave it in there for another minute and then take it out, okay? All right, so this will be a good time to turn on your hot water. So let's bring up your big and make sure that you either fill the tea kettle up or get a big pot, because you want to make sure maybe or either two small pots. Two small pots, because you want to make sure that about time we get the filling done to put it inside the pie crust, we have hot water to make sure we have that for our water bath. Okay, so everyone go ahead and turn on your hot water. I'm so excited. Now we've got our 3 eggs. The eggs are also at room temperature. We are going to add the eggs one at a time. I know it sounds weird, but that's the directions, and I like to follow directions sometimes. This might be one of those times. So go ahead and crack your egg. We're going to crack 1. And mix it. Crack 2. For those at home who have a beautiful power mixer, not like me, how fun this must be for you. Because you don't have to turn it on and off. Mix it. Last egg. Beautiful. Should be nice and creamy, nicely mixed together. All right, so last trick before we get this inside the pie crust. If you have a lemon, go ahead and grab a fresh lemon and wash your lemon, and I'll be right back, okay? grab a lemon, and also if you have a grater or if you have something to where you can make lemon zest, then grab that also, okay? Be back in just a sec. In fact, I just went to the store before I came here, and it's so nice in New York. I luckily live close to a fruit stand, and I just went and bought a bag of lemons, a bag of limes. They were so inexpensive, and a friend gave me these 2 jars, and what I'm going to do with these 2 jars after I'm done here is I'm going to squeeze all those lemons and all those limes because it's really nice to have fresh lemon juice and fresh lime juice around to make fresh lemonade, fresh limeade, and also I've recently gotten into making cocktails, and it's really nice to have fresh lemon juice and fresh lime juice to make really fierce cocktails. So another like little tip out there, get into it. If you drink. But what I'm going to do with this lemon right now, and the reason why I got it is because I found when you make, it's normal, especially in an Italian cheesecake, which is like they use ricotta, they use a lemon zest. And because the oils and the fragrant and deliciousness and the flavor that you get from zest, I like to add those in these cakes also. Now, this actually is going to end up being a Heath Bar Crunch cheesecake. That's what the topping is going to be. But we're still going to use a little bit of this lemon zest. So on the really tiny side of this one, again, you're zesting. I washed the lemon nice with a brush, cleaned it. I'm just going to the really nice yellow part, and I'm just zesting it over the bowl. Reach in here, grab that. Again, this is not something that you have to do. This is something that I like to do because of the oil that's inside the zest. It creates a really nice, fresh taste for the cake when it's baking. So you can go to town on it, or you can not have it at all. It's something that I like, especially in summer. It makes the cake gives it a really nice, refreshing taste as far as how long it also is going to last and have a really nice flavor to it. Okay. I didn't go nuts. But you can see. Okay, so you got that zest in there, and we're gonna give it one last quick mix. Woo. I sure did just turn that on while I was outside of it, and I just swapped. Great, so now I'm going to clean that up later. Oh well, I'll live. In case you can't tell, I really don't like mess. I like to cook, but I like things to be clean after I've cooked so I can eat and clean.
I'll come over and help clean.
So a couple of things. Your oven still should have been on. You never turn the oven off. Your oven is still set at 350 degrees, okay? You've got my water boil. Sounds like it's about to start boiling, so that's great. You should be right on target. We've got our cheesecake filling that's here. Can't wait to put that inside there. So let's get everything set up. Let me clean this area while I'm getting ready. I'm actually going to use this linen later, so I'm going to go toss that with the other linens, okay? Okay, so this is the part that probably seems like it's a bit scary because you're like baking a cheesecake in a turkey tin. Sounds crazy, right? Um, but you can totally do it, but make sure you arm yourself for knowing that it's going to be kind of heavy, okay? My hot water is boiling, so I'm going to turn that to low because there's a step that I almost forgot that is very, very, very important. Now, I learned the hard way that you need to make sure that you have foil, and the foil needs to be bigger than the pan. I decided to make a cake before, and I have this big industrial size foil that I got from like Costco. But as you can see, the difference in size is not really helpful for making sure that you don't get water inside your cake. Okay, so if you have a longer one, I hope that that you have a longer one. If not, you can use this guide, but I'm going to give everyone a minute to make sure that you cover the bottom of your cheesecake pan to make sure that you're going to have no water inside it, okay? It's going to be a lot easier if you have a long one. Go ahead and grab your long one. Go ahead and grab some mittens. It shouldn't be too hot, but if you have sensitive hands, be careful to not burn yourself on your pan right now, okay? So I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to take my foil and get a nice good size, but I know it's going to be deep enough for my pan to fit in. All right. So you got your foil. I got my foil. It's flat here. Let's see if I can go down like that. Is that better? Mine isn't hot at all, so I was able to just grab it. And I put this right on the center of the cake like that, okay? So you put that on the center right there, and what this is going to do is you notice you've got these grooves on the side here. Water could still get into there. You don't want water in there. You want to make sure that that's secure. So that's in the center, and I'm going to make sure you don't puncture it, and get that foil all up on the side. If you have the short one, I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to do like 6 pieces going like a T to make sure that you get that around there. This is enough, but just to take caution, I am gonna use another piece. It doesn't have to be as big, but foil is not expensive, and it's totally worth it to make sure that we don't get any water in this cake. So this should be good, especially for those of you who don't have the longer one. Go ahead and grab it again. Go ahead and cross it so that way it's there. And we've got another secure set. Beautiful. Should be nice and secure. Perfect, all right? So your foil's around it, making it really easy for you to get that baby. Now, you got your big pan. Now for me, it's like I'm using like a 9.5, 10-inch cake pan here, so I had to go and buy this. So something about this size, which is basically what you put a turkey in. I have 2 of them. You're gonna set that in the center of it, okay? All right, so that's sitting in the center there. Now, if this is going to be too heavy for you, I recommend opening up your oven. Put the big pan inside the oven. Put the cheesecake inside the big pan, and then pour the water inside. But it should be okay for you to be able to do this all together. You're just going to have to make sure, it's like, don't pick it up and like slop it everywhere. We've got our boiling hot water. Our oven is set at 350. And I'm just going to pour this. Woo, that steam. So you really want, now the reason why, in case you didn't look yet, the reason why we make this inside a water bath is because not only did we already make the crust, and the crust is done, but you really want to bake a really nice, even, beautiful cake. And put all that water in there. Perfect. Just gonna dunk right in there. Go ahead and take your, where's my spoon? We're gonna take our filling. Going to add our filling. Beautiful. I'm so excited. This makes me so happy. It's going to be a good one. All righty. Oh, this is gorgeous. Make sure that's even inside there. She's going to be heavy, but let's lift this up. Make sure you can see it. There she is. All ready to go into the oven. All right.
Well, that looks amazing. And so simple to do.
It's so simple. It is totally worth it. So we're going to make our way to the oven. 350 degrees. Pick that up. Ooh, it's hot. Woo! It's in the center of the oven. We're going to set the alarm for 1 hour. So 60 minutes. Timer starts, 60 minutes. Cheesecake is in the oven. We did it. Did it.
We did.
Already have a little bit that I have to clean up, but a couple of tricks that I want to show you guys so that way we can make sure that we check back in some tricks that I did. Now, like I said, I like to use things that I already have in the refrigerator to do my toppings. I splurged. And I decided that for this cheesecake, I'm going to make, you don't have to do this. You can get chocolate chips, you can do, but I decided to get one of these babies.
Oh.
All right. So I don't know if you're a fan. Yeah, we're really going for it. We don't play any games here. We like to make sure people look at things and say, heavy breathing, take a moment to think about how delicious this is going to be in like a little bit, yes, heat. So we got this heat, milk chocolate English toffee bites, and I got this, and this is the trick. This is the trick. Wait for it. This is not good for you at all, but it is going to make life really, 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 really happy, and your cheesecake is going to look amazing. Magic shell. get yourself some magic shell. Okay, that this was a trick. I don't know why I decided. Well, of course I know why I did it, but I did do it and it worked. Get yourself some magic shell. You've got 24 hours to do it. So get yourself some magic shell from the grocery store, and there's either chocolate fudge or whatever it is. Because what this is going to do is, excuse me, tomorrow when that cheesecake is perfectly chilled, hopefully not cracked. Told you, we nothing wrong with a little bit of it anyway. Yeah, we don't want a cracked cheesecake. Without the water bath, what would end up happening is the cake would bake way too fast and it would bake up and you'd get cracks all over it. We want it to be beautiful and smooth on top. So the water bath, what that does is it helps it bake at an even temperature throughout the whole cake. Nice, beautiful, smooth topping is going to be cool tomorrow. We're going to take that Heath Bar Crunch bar that's mixed up. We're going to spread that on top. We're going to take the magic shell and we're going to make sure that it's nice and hot, and then we're going to sprinkle it on top, and then we're going to let it chill again. And then, do you get where I'm going here? If we really want to go to town, which I really think that I'm going to have to, there's a recipe for you can either buy yourself some canned whipped cream, or we can make some firm whipped cream so that way we can decorate the top of that also. So having said that, you don't have to do any of that. You can just have a plain cheesecake, get some strawberries and fresh and, whatever fresh fruits you want and add to it. But there's that. But that's what we're doing tomorrow. We're going to do that. How are we doing on time? How long have we been going for?
You know what? We're at an hour. You did a great job.
We did an hour. We did.
Yes, we did.
How's everyone doing? Do you have any questions? Guess we can break the questions and see if we have any
I was going to say, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself. If not, we can. Now, of course, David, as we wait for any questions to come by, so when you're going to take pictures of the cake coming out of the oven, it chilled, the toffee, the magic shell.
I'll put it in my story. So
could you put it in your story and tag 3D Theatricals?
Perfect.
Fabulous.
That way, she's gonna come out of the hour, and so in the hour, we won't be talking still, because I'll be moved on to cleaning my space up and God knows what else. But I'll make sure that I keep you guys all in the know of exactly what's going on, so that way. I'm good at that kind of thing. So I'll make sure that I tag you all in it, so that way you can hopefully follow me and keep up with some other fun tricks. And I hope that whoever's here, I can't even see how many people are here, but I hope everyone was baking. If not, what you'll be able to see is that I also, like for example, for my birthday, I planned it out and I made a key lime cheesecake. And so if we have the possibility of doing this again and you guys actually loved it, then perhaps we can do it again at a later date, or I'll just do it and then tag you guys in it as far as, the recipe for making a key lime cheesecake, because...
Mr. Morris, you can bake me a cheesecake every day of the week. All different flavors. I'll be there. Oh my gosh, because I see TJ saying this, but key lime is my favorite. We share that, TJ.
Especially for summer, there's something about, I'm just telling you now, if you're in the grocery store, I highly recommend it. You can either buy key limes, and if they have them, but something that I learned, I don't know who's been to Key West before, but it's totally different. But I picked this up. This is Nellie and Joe's famous key lime juice. If you happen to be in the grocery store, buy some so that the next time we do this, that's what's going down. That's what's coming.
I love it. This is fantastic. Well, listen, David, we cannot thank you enough. Let's see, we have a question here. Do you know of any tricks for putting whipped cream on top of it, or does it melt? Oh, do you have let me read this again because I went by. Okay. Do you know of any tricks for putting whipped cream on top so it doesn't melt?
Okay, so if you're going to cut the cheesecake and then you want to have basically just serve it on a plate and then put a side of whipped cream on, you're going to serve it right away. This is your ticket. You've got your canned whipped cream, you shake it, you put it on your slice. Do not put this on the top of your cake and put it back in the refrigerator. Do not do that because it will melt. There is a difference. There's a big difference. Actually, I will do that tomorrow. It is a little bit of work. I'm still perfecting on how to do it, but I did do it with my last cake. And in order to make a firm whipped topping, you're going to use actually powdered sugar, and you're going to mix that actually with whipping cream. If you're going to the store, so that way you can plan ahead, get yourself some heavy whipping cream. So if you're going to stick around, you want to put a whipped cream topping that's going to be firm. Get yourself heavy whipping cream. You're going to want to have at least 3 cups of it. Get some powdered sugar, and this is the trick that you're going to need. Instant Jell-O. You're going to get instant Jell-O because the texture of the Jell-O and mixing the Jell-O with, there's a recipe for basically mixing that into the whipped cream, which is going to give you that firmness and texture, so that way you can put it in a piping bag and you can decorate the cake and then put it back, into the refrigerator. So again, not something that you have to do. I have very different moods. I have my mood where it's like, let's just make it quick and put it on the slice. But since I have the time and want to make something, pretty for, to put inside the refrigerator and serve people, we will make some fresh whipped cream. Not to mention, it's just, there's
it's
something
just
about it.
So yummy. Well, I'm glad to see that you're prepared for any situation. Any whipped cream situation, you're prepared.
We have to have we have to have these things that make us happy. These things make us very, very happy.
Absolutely.
Else, other than that, if you guys
this has been an amazing session. Again, I was talking to David before the session. To me, and I hope you guys agree, when somebody cooks or bakes you something and then hands it to you, they're giving you it's a beautiful expression of love and caring. And to see what people put into making something, and this is a very easy recipe, and it was so wonderful. David, you carried it out in front of us, in front of your camera beautifully, but it's such an act of love for you to, on a hot New York City day in your apartment, turn on your oven. So we really appreciate it.
I'm turning my oven, and because we did something different, I thought that to take us away, I would give you guys one song.
Fabulous. Okay, let's do it.
You get one song. I figured, why not? It's like, this is show business, right?
And it's less calories than the cake.
What'd you say?
It's less calories than the cake.
It's less, yes.
Calories.
Well, we clean up a little bit. I figured, to stay in theme. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Just a little something of how I feel. While we're putting things away, how's the volume? Can you guys hear? Good. L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore, and love is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. Again, thank you so much to 3D. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, everyone who came to watch. Thank you, Clorox wipes, for keeping us clean and COVID clean. Yeah, we're going to keep it clean. I hope everyone's having a good day, taking care of yourself. Thank you so much for doing this and letting me do this for you. It has been an absolute blast. Thank you so much. Yeah. L is for the way you look at me. Oh, it's for the only one I see. He is very, very extraordinary. He is even more than anyone that you adore. You know that love is more than I can give to you. Love is more than just a thing or two. Two and love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. You know that love was made for me and you. You know that cheesecake was made for me and you. Thank you so much, you guys. I'll see you on my Instagram. Have a great day.
Oh my gosh, David, you're amazing. Gigi's over there crying. You have like kicked off our week in the most amazing, magical way. I'm going to be in touch because we are doing a key lime day because I need to know how to make it.
Yeah.
I love you so much. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for, this is our very first cooking session at 3D+U. Thank you, Mr. Morris. You were amazing. We can't wait to have you back.
Show. You need your own show. Like,
Totally.
that was like amazing.
Screw Martha Stewart. Who needs her?
That's
We've
right.
got David T. Morris.
You get a song at the end. Come on.
Come on.
I love you.
I love you guys. Have a great one.
Love everyone. Have a great afternoon and evening. We'll see you. We post the rest of our schedule on our Instagram or Facebook. Oh, this has been a cheesecake and dogs and this beautiful man singing. I don't know what else, TJ. This is the best day ever.
I mean, we should just end the week. This is it.
That's it. We're done. Let's just bounce out of this now.
I don't know about anyone else. I'm going to get a cocktail to celebrate the cake coming out.
As you should. As you should. I will be like,
absolutely.
I was at work watch because I need to go run by the store to get a few things to make this tonight, so I can't wait. I'm gonna make it with my kid. Yes.
They will love it.
I'll take a picture and tag you in it.
Perfect.
Love you.
All right, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you, David, again.